Happy Wednesday, good evening, and a very warm welcome to tonight's broadcast with me, Gloria Mutesi. Let's begin tonight's edition by informing you that today at Urugwilo Village, President Paul Kagame received Anne Hidalgo, the mayor of Paris and the president of the International Association of Francophone Mayors, who is in Kigali for the 41st Congress of the association. Now, Prime Minister Dr. Edward Ngirente is calling on city leaders to work more closely and promote trade cooperation between cities of different countries and inter-people relations. The Prime Minister made the call in Kigali on the third day of the ongoing conference of the mayors from French-speaking cities. Ethan Tashabia begins our coverage tonight.
The intra-Africa trade was often hampered by the borders established during the colonial period, and yet the inhabitants of those countries shared much. At the ongoing conference of the mayors from French-speaking cities being held in Kigali, Prime Minister Dr. Edward Ngirente pointed out that for the people who want to move away from such barriers and develop, borders should act as bridges that connects them instead of separating them.
La coopération transfrontalière joue un rôle majeur dans l'intégration économique de nos villes.
Cross-border cooperation plays a major role in the economic integration of our cities. As a result, the development of adequate cross-border infrastructure is very important for lower transaction costs and speed up the circulation of goods and services. I call upon French-speaking cities and members of the civil society who are gathered here to promote intercity diplomacy, social cohesion, and technology with the aim to create a stable and prosperous environment between our cities.
Le vivre ensemble et le numérique au cœur de la transformation de nos villes.
On the issue of the intercity diplomacy, the mayor of Paris and president of the Association of Francophone Mayors, Anne Hidalgo, challenged city leaders that these cities should feel that their connection is beyond sharing the French language.
Ce congrès des maires francophones, c'est aussi un moment d'histoire. C'est un moment d'histoire, bien sûr, de l'histoire du Rwanda.
This forum of French-speaking cities is a time to go back to the history of Rwanda and France, the history of Rwanda and the Francophone. Francophonie, despite being a language-related organization, is also united in terms of values that prioritize cooperation and brotherhood.
Surtout une communauté de valeurs qui porte haut la solidarité et la fraternité.
Rwanda's Lydia Hachizimana, the CEO of Africa Institute for Mathematical Sciences, AIMS, and Leos Dangumala from Avong received the Francophone Woman of the Year award for their commitment to education and the participation of women and girls in their communities.
The reason why we received the prize of the IMF today is because we've been working for the past 3 years with the district of Gasabo, specifically in Rutunga and Gikomero, to provide pre-primary activities and trainings to teachers at that level. We've been working with the district of Gasabo also to make sure that we're providing meals to students, we're providing mutuelle de santé, also health insurance to the population in those two different sectors. So it's about 400 people. We've been working hand in hand with the district officials, with the sectors officials, to make sure that we are rebuilding the home-based structures that exist at those levels. So we are very excited to be nominated today, and we're looking forward to what can be done in the future.
Some of the participants in the Kigali meeting indicated that coming to Rwanda was going to help them overcome some of the challenges they faced at home.
La façon dont le pays a géré l'après-génocide, c'est exceptionnel. La façon dont
the way the country behaved after the genocide is extraordinary. The way you are led by President Paul Kagame and other leaders, you have been able to overcome the dark history and have set your sight to the future of building a strong and united country without leaving anyone behind.
Une nation unie et forte en intégrant toutes les filles et tous les fils de cette nation.
Nous avons été fortement édifiés par l'expérience du Rwanda.
We have been greatly helped by the experience of Rwanda in rebuilding itself after the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. I believe the lessons learned here can help Niger, which is trying to find ways to promote unity and social cohesion.
Pour le Niger qui est à la recherche de la cohésion sociale, du renforcement du vivre ensemble.
After a series of talks, the participants of the Conference of French-speaking city mayors visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial in Gisozi, where they learned about the history of Rwanda, including the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The Kigali Genocide Memorial is a resting place for over 250,000 victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The participants of the conference also visited the Campaign Against Genocide Museum, located at the Parliamentary Building in Kimihurura. Reporting for RwandaTV News, Ethan Tashobia.
The Senate plenary session on Wednesday approved the report of the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security on the issues of unity and reconciliation following consultative meetings and media talk shows held across the country targeting various local government leaders and members of the general public. According to the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security, Bideri John, district representatives said the most common offenses recorded during genocide commemoration period were verbal abuse, destroying crops and killing the livestock of genocide survivors, damaging and demolishing genocide memorials, and more. The issue of not providing information on the whereabouts of the remains of the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi was also highlighted. In general, compared to the previous years, in 2021, the number of genocide ideology crimes has decreased, according to the report. For example, in 2021, 18 cases of genocide denial against have been reported in Kigali. Northern Province recorded 16 cases, the Western Province with 25 cases, the Eastern Province with 10 cases, while 31 cases were reported in the Southern Province. Some of the obstacles to the fight against the denial of the genocide against the Tutsi, as discussed by the Senate, include the lack of a textbook on the history of the country to help young people in secondary schools and universities, which hinders the efforts to fight against genocide ideology. The Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security has organized consultative meetings on unity and reconciliation targeting district executive committees, executive secretaries, and district councillors, representatives of civil society, the private sector, faith-based organizations, and Rwandans in general through the media. Now, some service providers currently allowed to work as the city of Kigali remains on COVID-19 lockdown say that they continue to be cautious in adhering to the pandemic guidelines. However, they criticize those who do not comply with the set health guidelines. Innocent Mugabo with the details.
Across the city of Kigali, some essential service providers were allowed to remain functioning as the rest of the city was placed under lockdown last week. Food vendors, healthcare providers, and financial service providers are some of the essential activities on the list. They say they are conscious to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
We adhere to all the prevention guidelines. There is no more congestion here at the market. No one is allowed to attend to 2 customers at a go, but only 1. Basing on our behavior, I believe we shall overcome this pandemic.
Before people accessing the premises, we ensure we measure their temperature first and then direct them to the hand-washing post. For anyone to access the market, we ensure that they are properly wearing their face mask. The issue of not properly wearing face masks and social distancing got solved.
Our customers are required to first wash their hands before entering, and it's always 1 person at a go. It's the use of this line that we set up here, not forgetting washing our hands with sanitizer after making any liquid cash exchange with our customers. Before and after exchanging money and paperwork, we wash our hands with a sanitizer to avoid any kind of spread of the pandemic.
Meanwhile, in some busy suburbs of the city of Kigali, such as Kamenje in Kimisagara sector, Nyamirambo neighborhoods, Mohima, among others, respecting the set health guidelines remains a challenge. One of the local leaders who criticized the behavior says the campaign against the spread of the virus in such communities should be intensified. Depending on how intense the pandemic has got, everyone shouldn't be leaving their homes. Face masks are the only protection we've got. The other thing is that everyone should respect the lockdown.
nibo tugikangurira kugira ngo babyirinde.
Gatabazi Jean-Marie Vianney, the Minister of Local Government, reminds the public that the purpose of the COVID-19 lockdown should be understood and respected. We would like to remind everyone that no one is allowed to make unnecessary movements in the neighborhood. Some people are fond of leaving their homes and stand by the roadsides or visit their neighbors. You are violating the lockdown. Lockdown is all about everyone remaining in their homes, nothing else. The lockdown in Kigali City and 8 other districts came into effect last week, informed by the rising number of COVID-19 infections and deaths. The cabinet directive is scheduled to expire on July 26th, but until then, Rwandans are urged to reduce movements and meetings and to travel only when necessary. Innocent Mugabo, RTV News.
Many thanks, Innocent Mugabo. Now, in a bid to control the spread of the coronavirus pandemic across the country, the COVID-19 mass testing and vaccination has continued in different parts. Those that are part of these activities are grateful and say this is an opportunity for them to protect their lives. Across health centers in Kigali, vaccinations are underway for people aged 50 years and above. They convey their gratitude about the opportunity to be vaccinated, saying this will boost their protection against COVID-19 for themselves and their families. Being vaccinated is beneficial to me because it protects me and those around me. I must continue to adhere to the set guidelines by avoiding crowded places as well as follow all the other measures. Getting vaccinated helps us to not become critically ill when you get COVID-19, especially to us who are older. It can be dangerous if you get the virus and you're not vaccinated. Apart from Kigali, residents in Nyagatare district are currently participating in the mass testing program to establish the status of the pandemic in the area. If someone is not tested, they might not know their status and go ahead infecting others. But with the testing, we got to know where we stand and do the needful. The director of Rukomo Health Center says the residents actively participated in this activity because they were eager to know their status. We coordinated with the residents and allocated the time to avoid chaos. They were eager to know their status. If we find a person positive, we test the entire family. We request those with symptoms under the home-based care to wear their face mask and stay in isolation. District officials in Nyagatare district say the mass testing currently taking place will be randomized among people doing different things to establish the status of the pandemic in the area. The coronavirus pandemic is most prevalent in sectors near the border. We expect to test people that are more exposed, those who meet many people, for the next 4 days to establish the status in Nyagatare district, and we've made these services available. 32,616 people are expected to be tested in Nyagatare district. Figures from the Ministry of Health show that 1,906,789 tests have been conducted across the country, and 406,004 people have been vaccinated so far. Farmers across the country are happy that the government has put in place measures to make their produce available to those in need. During this lockdown, the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Husbandry urges farmers to adhere to the COVID-19 preventive measures as they carry out their activities. In the Gachurabganje wetland in Kamonyi district is where the RwandaTV cooperative operates from, farming on a 30-hectare piece of land. Throughout each year, the farmers are tirelessly working as they plant a variety of vegetables shortly after harvesting maize. We named ourselves RwandaTV, meaning those who do not hesitate, but I feel like adding on Dukorane Umurava, which means let's work hard, because we work so hard when planting the maize and it's already successful, same as vegetables. Although I'm old, I'm still healthy and energetic at the age of 67. In the process, we also do sports as we race with each other in the morning, coming to work, and even while going back. We then shower and rest.
saa sita tugataha dusiganwa tugakaraba tukiyuhagira tukaryama tukabaguma mu rugo.
The president of the RwandaTV cooperative in Kamonyi district, Eugenie Kamagaju, says that as they carry on their agricultural work, they are respecting the COVID-19 preventive guidelines, as out of the 400 people who cultivate in the wetland, none of them has been infected. Those in need of the produce of these farmers can get it directly at their farms or from the markets in Kigali, where they normally sell them, as payments are carried out through mobile money. We make transactions online. I get orders and I send the amount of food requested and then receive the payment instantly on my phone. A nun in charge of assessment management at the Lycée Notre Dame School, Bernadette Kanakuze, was from buying food in Kamonyi district for the students when we phoned her. So far, all the food that we want is brought to us, be it sweet potatoes, Irish potatoes, meat or eggs, apart from the vegetables which we have to go and pick ourselves in addition to what we harvest from our farm every 3 days. Agriculture is very important because we survive off it. Regardless of your occupation, everyone needs food. Agriculture and animal husbandry are very important. Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit Rwanda, agriculture production has not been shaken but has rather increased due to the fact that farmers did not stop farming. This is also reflected in the figures from the National Institute of Statistics, where in the first quarter of 2021, agriculture grew by 7% and contributes to the country's gross domestic product by 27%. The Minister of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Dr. Mukeshimana Geraldine, urges farmers to not give up on their work, but while adhering to the COVID-19 preventive guidelines.
Abahinzi bagiye bagaragaza gukora neza cyane muri.
Farmers did well this year and last year as well, as COVID had just hit, as they were able to not only feed themselves and their family, but also the country at large. We urge them to continue to keep on adhering to the preventive guidelines as they also increase productivity, because food is the first remedy of treatment when one is sick. Hence, as we fight the COVID-19 pandemic, we do not want to deal with the lack of food as well. So we urge them to remain vigilant and adhere to all the measures that are set.
Bakomeza ubwirinzi ubundi birinze neza ntaho bahurira na COVID.
Farmers are also encouraged to sign up for the Smart Nkunganire program, as it helps in planning for the fertilizer and seeds needed in their community.
Iyo biyandikisha ubundi bashyiramo indangamuntu yabo.
When registering, they fill in their identity card number, the land they will cultivate on, and the crop they will be cultivating, as well as the UPI, in order to help us identify how much land a person will cultivate on. Hence, we determine the amount of fertilizers that we shall provide to them. Some people don't include the UPI, saying that they are renting the land, but to us, it's regardless, it's required.
Ubutaka bwaba ubwawe cyangwa atari ubwawe, iyo nimero ibukenewe.
Farmers are also encouraged to adhere to COVID-19 preventive guidelines while delivering their produce to the market, especially when delivering milk to the collection centers. Teachers in Ramagana district and in other places across Kigali city are enjoying the teachers' shop, where they're able to buy food at a subsidized price and offer debts, which they pay once their salaries come in. Jane Mutoni now reports.
The teachers' shops features a wide range of items, including food and hygiene products. Teachers who buy from it say it is a game changer because they acquire basic items at a subsidized price, and those who don't have money purchase on debt and pay off once they receive their salaries. We are able to acquire food and hygiene products on credit to keep us going until our salaries have been paid, and then we pay back in installments. Secondly, we buy them at a lower price than those in regular markets. Some of the shopkeepers in the teachers' shops say they offer these products at a lower price compared to the prices at regular markets. We sell quality rice, which at regular markets costs 21,000 Rwandan francs, but here we sell it at 18,000 Rwandan francs, and same goes with sugar, oil and other items, which means teachers are able to buy items at a much lower price. This teacher shop project was launched by 3 Rwandan investors. Joel Muhaimana, the Director General of the teacher shop, says Rwandan industries provide them with goods at a low cost, which is why teachers buy them at a low price as well. He says that they have already opened 5 branches and are planning to expand to other parts of the country. The mayor of Rwamagana district, Mbonyumuvunyi Rajab, says the pilot project was launched by the Ministry of Education in February, and Rwamagana currently has 3 branches. Project is aimed at providing teachers with an easy way of buying items in such a way that one can use a Visa card and a document that shows he or she is a teacher, and then they can buy at a lower price. A smart card which a teacher can use to buy items as well as on credit is yet to be launched, whereby money will be repaid as soon as their salaries come in. This project was presented to us and we concluded it was useful. As they said, it could expand to the rest of the country. The Ministry of Education says this project was initiated by private investors with collaboration from the government. The teacher's shop was launched in February this year. It has now opened 5 branches, 1 in Rugende district, in Kigali City, Ntunga, Karenge, Rwamagana, and in Burera district, which is yet to start operations. Jane Mutoni, RTV News.
That's all we had for you tonight. Always a pleasure to have your company. I wish you a joyful rest of the week, free from COVID. My prayers and best wishes to all that are currently down with the virus and everyone that's been affected in one way or another. Otherwise, God bless you and keep you. And until next time, I'm Gloria Mutesi. Bye for now.